On my last episode of Roping It, I was talking about my 5-hour play day, which I had over the last few days. And I've been crazy busy. And right now on Truckin' It, we're going to talk about the reason why. It has to do with a bridge in Memphis coming up. Friends and followers, welcome back to my channel. Greetings from home, and I hope y'all are doing well out there. I've been crazy busy over the last couple weeks between play days, rodeo shoots, and practices. And then on top of that, I've been getting delayed a lot by detours around Memphis, Tennessee. So, I'm going to talk to y'all about the crack that shut down one of the biggest trucking bridges in the country. And how I was involved in it, how my boss was involved in it, and how we're going to figure out how to get around this. That's coming up right now on Truckin' It. Okay, so welcome back to my channel, and greetings from home. I hope y'all are doing well out there. And a couple weeks ago on Tuesday, I was minding my normal business, getting my run done, and I had gone to the sleeper berth, my co-driver took over, everything was fine. And then, as I got down the road, and was just waking up from my sleep that I have to get while I'm riding with him, I noticed a new message had popped up on my phone. And I went ahead, checked it. It was my truck boss, who said he was stuck in traffic, avoid Memphis, Tennessee. So I started getting my route plan together. I started researching the problem, and what had happened was a crack had been discovered in a major bridge connecting Tennessee and Arkansas. Now, this crack had been growing for years, and all it would have taken was one major seismic event, and that crack would have spread and caused the whole bridge to come down, and caused a major catastrophic failure. So, now, this crack had been growing for years with all the truck traffic that goes over the DeSoto Bridge, and over Interstate 40 in general, due to repeated vibrations, plus the fact that it's in a seismic zone. Now, earthquake repairs are nothing new to the Tennessee and Arkansas Departments of Transportation on this particular structure. In fact, the approaches to the bridge had just gone through a major seismic retrofit just a few years ago. And as part of that retrofit, sensors were installed to monitor truck traffic, to enable the use of pre-pass at the new way station on the western edge of the bridge, and to monitor the structure for failure. And these new sensors, combined with advancing camera technology from companies like, well, you know who. Let me flip it right side up here. There we go. You know who. Had actually led to these inspectors actually getting an idea, using guys that had cameras with long zoom lenses and new and advanced drone technology to do the bridge inspections. And what they discovered on this most recent inspection was enough to get them to call for help and to shut the bridge down. because they had discovered that A crack that had been developing over the course of a couple years had actually penetrated the girder beam that supports the bridge deck. Now, this particular crack was caused primarily by stresses caused by truck traffic combined with corrosion on the bridge, which is nothing new. This bridge was approaching 50 years old. It had reached its expected lifespan. And now the DOT knows they're going to have to do a lot more maintenance on the bridge. They're already arranging for repairs, and it is going to disrupt traffic around the Memphis area for a couple weeks. But the failure could have been much worse. In fact, we can go back to a failure that happened on a similarly constructed bridge that had 2 decks instead of 1. The similarly constructed bridge had cracks developing in its lower structure, and in particular on the underside of the upper deck. They had problems with the girder beams on it. And by they, I mean California Department of Transportation, who had just inspected that section of bridge a few days prior. And as a World Series baseball game began in October of 1989, traffic was light that day on the bridge. There were a few heavy trucks that had just crossed, and a bunch of normal car traffic. And suddenly, a violent shaking had begun. For those watching the baseball game, the announcer yelled out, "We're having an earthquake." And for those on the eastern span of the San Francisco-Oakland Bay Bridge carrying Interstate 80, at least 2 people were seriously injured when the upper deck of the Bay Bridge had fallen down onto the lower deck because hidden cracks had spread suddenly as this earthquake damaged the bridge. Now, had those cracks been discovered using modern technology, the DOT would have been able to repair them easily and fix the problem, just like what happened with the bridge in Memphis. And they would have been able to get to it before the quake hit. So, thanks to new and advancing technology, what could have been a major disaster in Memphis was averted. And these newer cameras and drones are part of the reason why. So, and those operators who had a skilled eye using them knew exactly what was going on. And they were able to get the traffic shut down in time. So, therefore, I urge all truckers, whether you're coming into the industry or you are just, or if you're a more seasoned driver, and many of y'all already know this, but it's both a CB radio and a digital camera are 2 essential pieces of equipment on board your truck. And with them being more affordable than ever, many people are also getting a dash cam as well. Simple stuff. Essential items that you cannot go without, because they can help you avert a disaster. And if something does break or have a failure, it makes it much faster for you to report it to your company so they can get you the right people to fix the problem. I strongly encourage you to have one. And that you are the eyes and ears of the road. And many of you truckers already know that with a disaster averted and a lot of stress from the long detours, myself included, since I often travel that stretch of interstate in Tennessee and Arkansas, that it is just time for us to act. And the best thing we can do at this point is to call our congresspeople and ask for highway bills to get passed. Because what's needed now, more than ever, is a third bridge at Memphis. A bridge that carries Interstate 69 or one of its related routes over the Mississippi, between Tennessee, Mississippi, and Arkansas. Because this would greatly help the area as a whole by allowing us truckers to bypass the Memphis downtown when an emergency happens. And by the way, Memphis is not the only city that needs to do this. Knoxville, Tennessee also needs to do it as well. So, for those of y'all who live in Tennessee or truck through there like I do, it's time to call Congress and ask for infrastructure bills and to get it done. So, get a camera, call your congressman, and please, let's make your best trip your next trip. Keep learning, keep thinking, keep on trucking. Bye for now.